It's the derby match we had hoped for since the launch of the CPL, with York United rounding out into form and being a competitive side week in and week out. Can we finally say York and Forge are rivals? Does the 905 derby have some teeth? Just 1 point separates these teams in the standings. Which one is primed to create more distance between the two today? That's right, this is the Tony Bet match of the week inside York Lions Stadium. York United hosting Forge FC. Andy Petrillo alongside Jordan Wilson. Welcome inside our One Soccer studio. We have a very busy night coming your way. First up, we are going to bring you this CPL match. We'll get you set for it. Then we're going to switch gears. We're going to head to Cincinnati, because that's where the quarterfinals between Canada and the United States in the Gold Cup is happening. Let's get you caught up on the CPL table here, and in particular, how it pertains to these two teams. Now, here's the thing. On Saturday, Cavalry pulled off a crucial win over Pacific to help close the gap at the top. Chasing them, York United and Forge FC. York coming off a win last weekend against Vancouver. They're also unbeaten in 3 straight at home. They like it at home, Jordan. Forge is still trying to figure out how to get off the seesaw that has them putting together this inconsistent season. But your team, York, looking good, eh?
Very good. Looking very good.
All right, well, how about we talk about Forge first and their struggles, because they've lost 5 of their last 7. Not like they're picking up points kind of, here and there, but what's caused this? Because I think, any other team, maybe we can say, okay, we've seen this before, and this is kind of, I hate to say it, but perhaps expected. This is not the narrative around Forge.
No, this is going into the season. Forge is the best team in the CPL going into 2023. Look, I like a car metaphor, so I'm going to say this. If you drive a 4-cylinder car and sometimes you're putting your foot on it and it's not really running the same way as it should, you probably have a misfire. This is what's happening with this Forge side. I would just say one misfire, though. So they just got to go to the mechanic, get that one thing, the plug fixed, boom, switch that in, and get going. They're not playing their best. They're still in 4th place, 19 points. This is still a Forge. This is a game to turn it around for sure.
Let's just hope they're not like me trying to drive stick, because then you're never going to get into second gear.
Oof,
that's the key, is not to be that. You just keep going back and forth. Let's take a look at York United starting 11 here. We're going to get into Forges in just a moment, but York United, obviously, this is still a very strong team. As mentioned, they're feeling good now. They're going to be at home. They had a stretch there where they were on the road for quite a bit, so they'll be at home, or they'll at least be traveling within Ontario. Martin Nash saying it's nice to actually get in some practice time. Look at some video, Jordan, because when you're on the road, you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants. But the big thing is they do get Mo Babuli back. He's back after serving suspension because of yellow card accumulation. He does lead this team in goals. So other than the obvious, which is scoring them goals, what do you like about him being back in the lineup?
I like that when you give Mo the ball. I know this personally from playing last season. You know that he's going to do magic in the offensive end. Look, Mo Babuli, a former Forge player, this is a game he's going to get up for. This is a game that he's going to want to produce and show his goods. Also, you never want to lose against your old team. You always want to be like, I'm better off. I'm in a better place. Thank you for all that we've done. But look, I'm a better guy and I'm a new guy. So this is a big game for him today. 4
goals in 9 appearances for Mo Babuli. York is excited to have him back in the lineup. But what about Paris G?
I've been so impressed by him. You're looking at Paris G last season when he came in towards the tail end of our season in 2022. He's a right back. Maybe you can play him a bit further. He's played center back. He's played center mid. I believe he's playing right back tonight. But he's proven that he's a versatile player. He's the utility man. But it's just his leadership as well. I think Martin Nash really needed someone that he trusts to step up this season with all the injuries that York had. And Paris G has been that guy.
I believe we call them Swiss Army knives, right?
I like it too.
Yeah, because you have the ability to play different positions and that versatility. Let's take a look at Forge's starting 11 here. This is who Bobby Smirnionis is going to try and rely on to turn the tide here for them. In particular, how about Terran Campbell? He too leads the team in goals. He has 4 in 13 appearances. We know that the problem with Forge has been giving up goals in the last 10 minutes of games, Jordo. How can they create separation? How much will also be relied upon on Terran Campbell to win games, which, by the way, they have yet to do this season, by more than 1 goal? Yeah,
you're looking at all the threats that Forge have up top, but they haven't gotten it right in terms of everyone on the day being their best. But you're just hoping to see they haven't played their best, but they're still close to the top. They need a performance, a match like today, where it's a rival match. They're coming off a close loss last week. You need a guy like Terran Campbell to step up and just keep scoring, and then you're hoping that a Jordan Hamilton or Rubens Pasillas can also help him. But then Tristan Borges, all these guys, all these names that are quality, you're just hoping that they can help.
Got to stay locked in, right? Because I was looking at some of the stats. We know they're coming off that loss to Halifax. 90th plus 10, they give up the goal. When they lost to Pacific, that goal also came in the 85th minute. When they lost to York, that goal came in the 93rd minute. I mean, you have to rely on your veterans, right, as well, to stay locked in to that final whistle goes.
Yeah, and I think what happens when you lose late games as well, at least for me as a player, it becomes almost like a habit. Like you're playing the 89th minute, 90th minute, you're like, hey, okay, you're walking on eggshells. And if you keep slipping on your back or you fall through thin ice, you're just expecting it to come. That's when your leaders, your vets, the Kyle Beckers, the Tristan Henrys, the guys that know how Bobby Smirnionis wants to play, have been with this club since the beginning, they have to step up and just kind of drag the players that might be falling and slipping a bit behind. Look, let's not joke about it. If Forge have a big performance tonight, this could be the turnaround for the season. They're still close. They just need that big win.
Well, speaking of stepping up, Bev Priestman has named the players she will be keeping because they're already there. But who she'll be keeping with her in Australia. That's right. We'll talk about the roster that has been revealed as the Canadian women get set for their 8th straight campaign at the World Cup, which kicks off for them on July 20th. Stay with us here on One Soccer.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I cried away.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
Earlier today, Bev Priestman announced her 23-player roster for the Australia-New Zealand World Cup. Leading the way, Christine St. Clair. This will be her 6th World Cup. On the flip side, 6 players will be making their debuts. This is Canada's 8th straight appearance in the tournament. Their best finish was 4th in 2003. With more, here's Oliver Platt.
Bev Priestman finalised and finally made public the Canadian women's national team roster for this summer's World Cup earlier today. And it was a roster for a long period that didn't look like it would spring many surprises until this past week, where a couple of situations developed to change that. Obviously, the first one was the injury to Jade Rose. Really unfortunate to see a promising player like that miss out on the tournament. That means that Gabby Carl comes back into the fold, having probably been the most notable omission from the initial roster. She is now called up to add to that fullback depth. The second situation we knew a bit more about, that's obviously concerning Desiree Scott and Nichelle Prince and their health and whether they'd be ready for the tournament. Prince is. Scott, unfortunately, at this late stage of her career, it'll be a crushing blow, is not. The expected replacements for either one of those two, you would have thought, would have been Marie Yasmin Alidou and Clarissa Larissé, who were both named on that initial roster. Instead, Bev Priestman has pulled a bit of a wild card to replace Scott, calling up 18-year-old Olivia Smith. Now, Smith is regarded as one of the most promising young players in Canada. She's foregoing the rest of her college eligibility after her freshman year at Penn State to turn pro. There's been some hints that she could be headed with the influx of Canadians to England, to the WSL, and a big club in that league. That's a real surprise decision from Bev Priestman to make it this late stage, and shows how highly she regards Smith. That'll be an interesting one to watch this summer. So the big decisions are made for Priestman. Now we wait for July 20th and Canada against Nigeria in that first game of the World Cup.
All right, thank you very much, Ollie. We'll be checking in with him as well a little later on. As mentioned, Canada-USA quarterfinals of the Gold Cup, Ollie in Cincinnati. But when it comes to the women, he's right. So Nichelle Prince, Deanne Rose, both dealing with Achilles injury. Deanne Rose injured hers in September, but she's been back, has played a few games. Nichelle Prince injured hers in November, playing in a friendly for Canada against Brazil. So we thought the timeline's a little bit tighter for her. They're both healthy. What does that mean for Canada's forward position?
Love it, because this was a deficiency. This was an area where you're not seeing a lot of ladies that were ready and primed to play this position. Also for me, with Nichelle Prince, her being 28 and just a leader and has been with this team for a while, I think the biggest question is just, how does Bev Priestman use these ace cards? Like, how do they look in training? Do you put them in to start a match? Do you put them in the last 20? It's just going to be that man management that always keeps coaches up at night. But delighted to have these two young ladies back, because that is probably the worst injury in sports. Yeah. The Achilles injury, my brother did it twice, back to back. It's just a long process. But to know that you've done that recovery, to know that you feel healthy, hopefully they can contribute to this team.
We'll see how that behind closed doors game goes against England as well, because we know Bev Priestman uses that as a gauge. But, you know, Deanne Rose, Nichelle Prince looking healthy. Adriana Leon hasn't been getting a lot of playing time. Chloe Lacasse has looked great. And with Janine Becky out with injury, now we find out who that starting 11 will be. But you heard Oliver Platt mention it there about 18-year-old Olivia Smith, who was a star back in the spring for Canada at the Under-20 Championship, helping the Canadians qualify for the Under-20 World Cup. But here's the moment where she found out she's going to the Women's World Cup.
So listen, this might come as a bit of a shock to you, but you're going to the World Cup.
Stop.
You are, yeah. You've come in, you've done outstanding. You know, we've had some conversations along the way. You've gone away, you've worked hard, and I want to reward all your hard work. You've come in, you've fit in really, really well, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be in the 23. So, welcome.
Getting goosebumps right now just seeing that. What a special moment. And the 18-year-old, I mean, she's no slouch. She's earned this position. In 2023 alone, 12 goals in 8 games for Canada at the youth level. Obviously, it's going to be a lot to ask of an 18-year-old to have that translate to the senior level. But what does that already tell you about her, that she's going to the World Cup at 18? Talent.
But outside of that, look, we're talking about Canadian soccer. In the media, you hear a lot. Maybe there's a lot of turmoil. This is such a feel-good story. If you're watching the whole video, you get goosebumps. It's just, this is what football can do. This is what playing for your country, playing at a World Cup, that happens only every 4 years. This is just a feel-good story. So you're seeing her, even if she's not getting a lot of playing time, just being in that environment, and then knowing that in 4 years' time, she can maybe go and take the throne.
Very special. Yeah, played at Penn State. We're waiting to see which pro team she signed for. By the way, though, last year was playing in League One Ontario. Scored 18 goals with North Toronto Nitros. So Olivia Smith going to the World Cup. How about the Gold Cup? Quarterfinals coming up.
Come on!
Canada, United States. Kickoff is at 8 p.m., but we'll get you set up. Jimmy Brennan's going to hop on in at 7:30. We'll set that game up. The Canadians, of course, looking to beat the Americans on American soil for the first time since 1957. Meantime, we've got to put a bow on this pregame for the Tony Bet match of the week. York United hosting Forge FC, just 1 point separating these two teams in the standings. Look, the fans, they're sharing beverages together.
Beautiful.
It's all nice in the stands, but on the pitch, no. Stay with us.
Volkswagen, the official automotive partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? You choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of ultimate chicken sausages and hot dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Gatorade, with electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
Hey, so Mom's thing's coming up. Should we book flights?
Let's do it.
Oh, there's an early flight. We'll be there by lunch.
Speech. Or the later one?
What if we went the day before?
Sure. Stuff these up.
Yeah, I'd go for this one.
Oh, perfect.
Be there when it counts. With over 500 flights every single day, we have a flight for that.
WestJet is a proud sponsor of the Canadian Premier League.
Finds a Lou. Di Rosario Petrasso in the box. Back into midfield for Brem Sumaro. Brem Sumaro fires! Oh my word! Brem Sumaro, the sniper! Halfway through added time and he scored another worldie! He might have just won the match for York United when it looked to be at a standstill. Roll that replay and Brem Sumaro, take your curtain call.
And he did get the victory for York United. It's the Tony Bent match of the week, and it's a rematch between York United and Forge. Andy Petrilla, Jordan Wilson with you. They've already faced each other twice this year, both walking away with a victory. By the way, I can't even look at or hear Sumaro's name without Gareth Wheeler in my head. Sumaro.
It's good.
Sumaro.
It's one of his better ones.
Yeah, he doesn't hit often, but when he does, it sticks in your head. All right, what are you expecting from this match? Prediction time.
It's tough, man. I'm really conflicted. On one hand, I want to see Forge kind of come back and turn things around and quiet all the haters. But then my boys at York as well.
Oh,
I'm
you're
just
still
like,
attached.
Yeah,
you're
a little
still
bit.
Attached.
I'm like, put your foot on their neck when you have them. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I think difference makers for me is going to really be in that midfield. If someone can contain Mo Babuli, is Mo Babuli on it today? But then also, can we see from Forge, the Beckers, Hojabrapur coming back and playing from the start? Those guys really need to dictate the tempo of the game.
One thing with both these teams is they do like goals in the final 10 minutes as well. So, I mean, you got to stay locked in for the full 93, 94, 95, however this goes, because, I mean, history has already proven in just the 14 matches that both these teams have played in that it's not over until the final whistle goes.
Yeah, for sure. I think this derby, for me, it's the closest it's ever been right now this season. It saddens me. It makes me feel like I was the issue when I was playing for York because we are just a bit under Forge. Don't do it, Trills. Anyways, I digress. But look, this is a huge match for both of them because this is going to be their 15th game. If you can get those 3 points, you're really sitting at the top, and you can start thinking about being a playoff team and knowing that you could be in the top 2, top 3 spot.
Yeah, Forge, by the way, has only scored first in 3 games. So this is a team that's playing catch up. That's something that they don't want to do. There's a lot of storylines here between the two, but like I said off the top, this 905 derby, I feel like, has teeth. Because before it was always Forge Cavalry.
It's true.
Here we go. All right, if you want to watch Forge York United, head on over to the platform, our One Soccer platform, as well as our YouTube channel. Everyone else who wants to get ready for Canada, USA Gold Cup quarterfinal, stay with us right here. We're going to get you set for Match Day Live.
All Allstate and its 900 agents proudly support Canadian soccer at every level. Visit allstate.ca.
CIBC is a proud partner of the Canadian Premier League.
It looks like we're headed towards
And many people's
stagflation
dreams of
with
owning a home.
What's keeping you up at night?
I'm kind of stressed about my money situation.
It's stressful to talk about.
Oscar, come here.
Here's your financial stress companion.
She definitely helps. It's never too late to start.
Good portfolio. With saving for my first down payment.
Tony Bet is a proud partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Volkswagen, the official automotive partner of the Canadian Premier League.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I cried away.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates, and analysis. And all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device. Join the new dawn of an unstoppable game. See the rise on onesoccer.ca.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
WestJet is a proud sponsor of the Canadian Premier League.
What a night in Canadian football. The second CPL fixture on the docket and an hour away from a Gold Cup quarterfinal against the United States of America. Hope you didn't have any plans today, Canada. If you did, well, I'm glad you chose to spend them with us this evening. It is time for the Canadian Premier League's Tony Bet Match of the Week with York United hosting Forge here in North York, Ontario. For the second time this weekend, we have a fixture that is being played for the third time this season, and geographically the two closest clubs in the Canadian Premier League will go head to head once again. The last match played between Forge and York took a Brem Sumaro Goal of the Season candidate to take the full 3 points for York United when they were just beginning an incredible run. Forge have dipped since then as well and currently trail the Nine Stripes by 1 point in the Canadian Premier League table, with both of these sides starting the back half of their seasons tonight. Mobabuli, he is back from yellow card accumulation suspension once again against his former side. It is normal to see him in green and blue now as he tries to get the best of Forge once again. Joe Ferraro is the public address announcer here at York Lions Stadium. We will throw it down to him now for the pre-match ceremony.
Remove your hats and raise your scarves for the playing of the national anthem.
Time for another 9:05 derby on a great night for football on the campus of York University here, the north side of Toronto. Yusri Rudolph of North York is today's match referee. It is his 5th appointment of the season, 40th all-time in the Canadian Premier League. He has done more games than anyone else. Gabriel Lemieux of Lévis, Quebec, Twain Anderson of North York, they run the lines tonight, and a CPL debut for Ryan Schwenger of London, Ontario, as the 4th official here today. Regent Park United is on hand to help out with the ceremonial coin toss. Kyle Becker wears the captain's armband for the away side. Roger Thompson fit again, and York United will be hoping that that trend continues. He will take the toss and wear the armband for York United.
Well, that's a big toss. Take this side. You want this side?
York United will kick off first. Forge will stay on the left side, attacking the south end of the stadium. As we introduce you to the starting 11s and begin with the hosts, led by Martin Nash. Nico Giantsopoulos is in goal. He plays behind a 4-2-3-1. Paris G, Max Ferrari, the left and right back, respectively. Tas Murtakudis and Roger Thompson, the center backs. The double pivot, Jeremy Gagnon-Lapare and Brem Sumaro. The 3 changes to the 11 are all in the attacking 3. Michael Petrasso is in and starting. It is the first start for Petrasso this season. Babuli at the 10, Austin Ricci on the right wing, and Brian Wright once again the number 9 this evening. And for Bobby Smirniotis and company in a 4-3-3 today, at least in their transitional play. Maliko Alabi-Bellewu, the left back, Rezard Arama, the right back. Ashinyoti Janssen and James, the center backs. Hujabrapur will hold with Becker joining the top of a diamond in possession for Forge. Jensen also gets the start, and Tristan Borges and Jordan Hamilton will be on either side of Terran Campbell playing at the number 9 here this evening. The 4 changes: Hamilton, Jensen, Hujabrapur, and Olabi-Bellewu into the team. 22 degrees and partly cloudy skies above the turf here at York Lions Stadium. A comfortable evening here on this Sunday to end another week in the Canadian Premier League. By virtue of Pacific's loss yesterday, Cavalry goes second. York United could move within 2 points of the Tridents with a win. For Forge, they could move within 3, though both sides will be back to 2 more matches having been played than both Pacific and Cavalry. That is how the table looks before the match kicks off. All set and ready to go. The match of the week in the Canadian Premier League is officially underway, with York United kicking off first. They wear their green tops and socks to blue shorts. As well, they work from right to left on your screen in this first 45 minutes towards Tristan Henry's goal at the north end of the grounds. For Forge, in their primary orange with the gray accents, they work from left to right towards the south end of the stadium. My name is Adam Jenkins, pleased to be joined in the broadcast booth by this week's busiest man in Canadian football. That is Will Cromack here for the 4th and final game this weekend. Will, we've seen a little bit of everything this weekend, haven't we? The chaotic finishes, cautions, probably deserved red cards, penalties. We haven't really seen that wonder goal yet that these sides are capable of producing. What are you expecting tonight?
You know, it's been an enjoyable weekend, first of all. Secondly, it's a derby. I'm expecting a lot of blood, and I'm hoping that this one is going to finish our weekend off nicely. Hoping for that Sumare goal, let's be honest. But if we don't get it, some compete, some good play. Both of these teams need a win here badly, and they need to get on a roll again. So hopefully some quality play.
A point in the season where, by virtue of the first midweek matches being played for both of these sides, one of them against each other, the table can be deceiving. Paris G is our CIBC player spotlight tonight. The 29-year-old defender from Burnaby has started every single game for the Nine Stripes this season. He leads the CPL with 1,260 minutes now this campaign. Will, a thought on what has been going on recently for York United? They had that brilliant run of form. Martin Ash forced to transfer out Lasana Fai, who was a key component of their backline that had started to turn in some good performances, and now in that up and down mode again, where they're looking for that consistency. What can a coach do to try and help establish that again?
Well, I mean, this whole league right now is catering to the idea of if you can score your chances, you can get on the consistent run. You see it with Cavalry, a few goals, how it can change everything. All of a sudden your defenders look a lot better, your midfield looks a lot better just because something's going in at the front. I would say that York has to create a bit more. I don't think they're creating as much as they could be. Probably why we're seeing Petrasso get his first start. Probably why we're seeing Ricci and Petrasso coming in. They're just looking for more things. The same goes for Forge. They haven't scored a goal or a lot of goals, and some of the goals they've been getting were gifts.
Interesting you mentioned that with York United. One of their most eye-catching stats so far this season, they have scored just 4 of their big chances. That is last in the CPL, but they have created 23 of them, which is second to only Pacific.
There you go.
That's when the analysis backs up the old cliches about being clinical in front of goal.
Why, thank you. I appreciate you keep covering me.
This is G who runs at Jordan Hamilton, starting as a winger today, but more often than not he will be playing as a second striker with Terran Campbell. Gagnon Lapare harassed in front of the Forge bench and draws the foul as we say good evening to Bobby Smirniotis tonight. And they know what's at stake And Bobby Smyrniotis electing to leave one of his young stars on the bench. That is Kadeem Kane, who he was full of praise for. Taron Campbell nearly forces the turnover from Nico Giantsopoulos as York tries to play it out of the back. Tassimo Kudis, who took home our Gatorade Performance of the Match in the Nine Stripes victory at Vancouver last weekend. He has been an anchor for them. Jensen doing very well to try and keep York United pinned back in their defensive half. JGL back to Giantsopoulos, and this time a little less nervy. Patient and in possession. Trasso as Rama tries to shut the door on the defensive third, but leaves an opening along the touchline. The ball into right, moves in behind him. Ricci not quite close enough to retain possession and cause some troubles for Tristan Henry, who has some trouble with the ball at his feet. Coughs up and turns it over. It's a very, very lucky boy, Mr. Henry, as he had his 4th yellow card of the season in that penalty conceded to the Halifax Wanderers, Forge's last game, but because he had gone 5 games without a yellow, he is eligible for the match tonight with the good behavior rule.
Love that rule. Just learned about it yesterday when you told me about it. That's crazy.
I'm very impressed that you remembered it. There was a lot of words in there. Babuli leaves something a little extra in for Tristan Borges. Becker into the box, back post for Jordan Hamilton, keeps it in play. Jensen unable to leave his feet and try and find the header, but it's back to Becker again on his left foot, sliding his Sumaro to block. Shades of how he scored his goal at Wanderers grounds last weekend, Mr. Becker, but Brem was ready.
A couple times they played out really nicely through Samara as well, and then there he's kind of gifted an opportunity. Needs to be a little careful with the ball there, but so far so good. Even Giantsopoulos playing nicely through the middle.
Becker with Borges shorts, but instead an in-swinger, and Giantsopoulos punches it up to himself and makes the catch. Stick a man to the back post, and Becker's gonna try and score himself from the corner, or find a alley-oop header a la Easton Ungaro yesterday.
Definitely an idea by Forge to press the fullback as soon as the ball is played to him.
Martin Nash spoke to the struggles that Forge have had lately, but he said, we know the quality they have in this group. Everyone goes through that kind of spell in the season, but for Forge, it is a bit longer than perhaps we're used to seeing from them. At the same time, he said, if they're not in a good moment, we want to try and take advantage of that. It's not going to be easy. These derbies never are. Derbies, excuse me. So we know that we're going to have to work for it, and it should be an interesting contest.
It's kind of surprising, Ricci talking to a referee.
Your deadpan improves by the broadcast. 8th minute and another dead ball restart for Forge. Babuli is maybe his appropriate 10 yards back. A one-man wall. Becker goes over top in. Hojabrapur redirection. But again, nothing too troubling for Nico Giantsopoulos, who tries to restart quickly. It bounces in front of Malika Olabi-Bello, and it catches him in the hand. The referee waved it away, and the A.R. Anderson's flag stayed down. Curious to see a look at that when we get a moment, but that looked like a clear handball.
I don't think you need to see that again. That's a handball and should be called.
G for Babuli. Ricci tries to flare out wide. Becker's slide doesn't dispossess Mo, but at least slows York United down.
I think they're going to try and pin G here every time. If he keeps playing it, needs to do more of that. Get Forge narrower.
It's interesting that front three, for the most part, leaves Hamilton and Borges as wider wingers.
Yeah, Hamilton, I haven't seen much of him out wide, but Taryn's done it a little bit for the club, and now it's Hamilton's turn, it looks like.
And for Hamilton as well, with Campbell's run of form, the multiple goals, he leads the team now on 4. Hamilton needs to carve out a role for himself if it's not going to be at that number 9.
Agreed.
So far this season, the road team has won this fixture each time.
Bellewu seems to be going higher than Raman. It's quite a bit more asymmetric, if you will.
This is Hamilton in behind of Gagnon-Laperret, crosses it on the bounce. Campbell's header is just over the crossbar.
Good play. Didn't have much time to react to it, but did well to at least get contact in the channel.
Incredibly effective forecheck pin through 10 minutes now. And forcing the bulk of the possession for York United to be amongst their back 6.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you can control a game without having the ball, and they seem to be making sure that it's going out wide towards Paris G, and then Hamilton's doing a good job with Campbell of blocking that off. He's gotten out of it a few times, and Petrasso's helped. But here's we're talking about Bellewu getting higher than we'd normally see him. So Bobby clearly trying a few more things to get guys forward, get people towards the box, get some goals.
Well, and Olabi Bellewu playing in that more typical Rama role, being a very advanced fullback. Rama's forced into more of that back 3 tonight with James and Ashinyoti Janssen. Babuli down off the shoulder. Jointly defended by Jensen and Becker both. Should be a foul against York United. Oh no, they're gonna bring it back. Usually Rudolph found the foul before Samara went to ground, and once he was there, he couldn't get up, and that's why the forge body fell as well. Here's the replay.
I don't think that that's a foul on, if anybody, that's a foul the opposite way. But
the play-by-play guy is 2 for 2. Give me the whistle.
Changes the game entirely if they can get out of that corner, York.
Well, that's going to be the most aggravating part when they do. That final pass where you want the ball, Babuli just hasn't been on. Tristan Borges is on a 23-game goalless skid. His last goal came against York United on August the 20th of 2022 in the Mo Babuli revenge game at Tim Hortons Fields.
Wow, that's quite the stat.
Receives the ball from Kyle Becker, running in Max Ferrari. Behind the captain, but Hojabrapur is there, and he shoots! Just about hits that back stanchion. That was hit with some venom. And Hojabrapur, a spark for the men in orange.
Well, he's been out for a few games, and why not? He can strike a ball really nicely. He's one of the pure midfielders in this league. Box to box, few goals, few assists, a lot of tackles, capable of good passing. And he's a champion.
2-time champion now, and both of those times in large part because of what he was able to do on the score sheet with that big forehead of his. It's a slip and slide on the turf at YLS right now. Manager Car James draws the ire of 3 York United players.
He's done really well to get out of there.
Switch is complete. Borges against Ferrari again, and Gagnon-Laperret, the help defense. Off of Becker, and will be a York throw, and Ferrari got a little bit extra from the Forge captain. I think I see a smile on Kyle's face. It's one of the few times we'll get a smile out of Kyle is after a hard little bit of extra.
There. That's definitely, that should be a foul. But no, Throw-in. I tell you what, Borges has gone 3 times 1v1. Doesn't matter if he's actually succeeded in getting by anyone. The idea that he's confident to go is important for this team to have someone dragging the defenders back, making Max have to defend.
It was good hold-up play, but wasted in the end. Petrasso a touch, Ashignoti Janssen the same. Ferrari, Ricci spilled back to the middle. Petrasso off his chest, but being guided towards Giantsopoulos. Finally some calm. It's late from Jensen, and that should be and is our first caution of the game. Second time he has been booked in 2023, and there was no room for a 50-50. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. Just a poor slide.
Yeah, and annoying to have him pinned. There's no, you know, if he's a step or two closer, no chance that Petrasso gets out of there. He's got 2 guys on him, but now he has to take a yellow.
Michael lost a piece of his shin, I think, on that as well.
I like Jensen, though. He's a good player. Another one they've found through the system.
And through Bobby's credit, the development of Forge, it's one of those young men who are like, who is this guy last year? And then this year rolls around, he's like, oh, he's been part of the furniture forever. He looks like he belongs.
He does. And get more minutes and consistent. These guys are all comfortable with the idea that they come in, they go out, they come in, they go out, stay fresh. If they can get on a roll, they'll have even more success with those guys wanting to come in and out and be a part of the squad in general. So 4-1, 4-1 out of possession for Forge in principle. There's a guy who needs a goal. Last game, couldn't buy one. Well played, though.
Nearly spinning through James and Rama. Daniel Apare was on the wrong side of Hamilton, and he uses up his one and only tactical foul without seeing yellow of his own. He is on 3 cautions, as is Parrish G. Both would be suspended if they were booked tonight.
But if they go 5 games.
Well, they haven't gone 5 games. You say that as if I haven't already done the math.
It's new. It's like a new toy for me.
Owolabi Bello says goodbye to Ferrari, looking for Campbell, trying to hold it up. Jensen's on the ball. Campbell into space. Becker across, it's up, floated well, and Jensen's header just high and right.
I'm thoroughly enjoying the center back going forward as a left back. Unlucky Jensen just behind him, can't get entirely over it.
It's a sassy little clipped cross from Kyle Becker as well.
Speaking of one and only tactical fouls, there's yours.
Inspired by Jeremy's a minute ago is the same play. Hamilton high in the air. Campbell was drifting offside and abandons the play.
There's no way the idea that the ball goes out to the center backs for York. They have nowhere to go and go back to Giantsopoulos and he knocks it long. That's not in the tactical plan, but every time he does, it's bounced directly back down their throats. And now we have Mo dropping back so he can get his touches. Just a sign of frustration for a guy like him. That's better.
Mordekudis given time and space. That's a dart to G. Cushions it softly. Now Petrasso Accelerating towards the middle, Babuli just outside the box. One more for Gagnon Lapore. Now Ricci trying to buy some space through the gap and tumbles down. And is going to catch his hand after he fell to the ground. That is the foul. He loves those moments, Austin Ricci. He is so good at creating something, but I would tend to agree that he's just off balance as he goes into the contact.
Yeah, everything about that was fantastic, though. They finally started to play some little link-up plays, keep the ball. Started with a beautiful cross-field by Mortikudis. Petrasso linking up, Babuli. A little bit of magic from him. Unlucky he couldn't quite create the space for himself, Ricci, but it was really nice. Better from them.
And you would have expected him to blast that top corner had he been able to keep his feet. Positive signs for York United. Their first touch in the opposition box all match long. Mortikudis. And then Ferrari, late, somebody lost a boot. It was Olabi Belawu as he was fouled. Take the laces out of these shoes, Will, and all of a sudden they're flying through the air. Slip on, slip off.
I don't know if I could have done that. Too loose.
So once again, Yusri Rudolph marches the wall back. Looks to be 2 in it this time. Nico takes orders. 4 shots already from Forge, none yet on target. Might they change that here? It's Becker. Heat seeker that grazes the crossbar. That did not miss by much.
Yeah, a little high. You just get anything on target. There might be a rebound. See what he's trying to do. You know he can do it.
There's Brian Wright. Was able to cause a headache or two for Ashton Janssen. Forge escaped narrowly, but you can definitely feel York growing more confident offensively.
The best part about Wright, he'll fight for that all day. He's got no worries with the work.
He's still looking for his first goal in York United green and blue, having come over from Atletico Ottawa at the start of the season. Borges turning, crossing, Giantsopoulos tries to push it into space.
Somebody attack that. What a ball.
Jensen over the top, off the thigh of Rama, backheeled, will skip off of Thompson and out for a corner kick.
York are gonna have to do something immediately to deal with the fact that Belawu is pushed so far up. Ferrari has no idea which one to go, whether to stick or twist. Set up, beautiful ball. Lay back, Borges in, nobody attacks it.
Second corner of the match, both for Forge, the first time from this corner flag, and that is Tristan Borges' territory on his left foot. Borges into the 60-yard box, sits for Campbell. How has he not put some power on that?
Here we go, pinned again to this side. And ball straight back at him. This is a better version of Forge than we've seen in the last little while. People are playing for their spots again. A little shout out to Giantsopoulos as well, having to save that shot cross. And then another one right after on the corner.
Jensen. Nice control, cross off of Ricci. Forge will keep the throw. Well, the start of the season with a couple of early goals, one in the Canadian Championship, one in league play.
Our last game, Ferrari was someone that had to be figured out by Vancouver, changing their fullback. I think in this game, someone's going to have to sort out the fact that Ferrari's pinned all the way back. There's your 3 in possession.
They're going to try Oluwabi Bellawu's direction again. Why not? It's been working. Becker, tasty again. Borges over, following up is Hamilton. Giantsopoulos denies, but it falls to Darren Campbell with no defenders around, and he makes no mistake. Darren Campbell with 5 goals now on the campaign, and the CPL's all-time leading scorer is finding his form.
I was just going to say, look where Hamilton is. He's on the entirely opposite side of the pitch. Look where he is in the frame. Borges over this side.
Unbelievable save this, by the way.
Save, yes. Hey, but 2 strikers nearby each other. Cool, calm finish. CPL's leading scorer of all time does it again.
34 now for Darren Campbell and the traveling Forge contingent. The Barton Street Battalion hit the road, and they have the first goal of the match to celebrate, and you cannot say it was not deserved.
It's only one team in this right now. Look at this press. They're not getting out of that.
And that is Forge at their very best when that press is on, and as effective as it has been.
Just pinning them to that one side every time. No one's adjusting.
Well, they've clearly sorted out Darren Campbell. He has been given the number 9 shirt, and he has not looked back from it. If they can find a way to get Hamilton more involved and more influential, that is a terrifying proposition.
Well, I like the fact that he went more central.
3v3 again. Borges into space. Hamilton lines up the shot at the post. Giantsopoulos had no idea where that ball was, and luckily for York, there was no second striker that time to clean up the scraps.
I thought the commentator dream was just about to happen. He's getting central, getting shots on target. So unlucky. Well hit, low, driven. Yorker at sea right now.
How many times in your coaching career have you wished you could ask for a drinks break or a timeout?
Oh.
This feels like one of those times for Martin Nash.
As a coach, you don't wish. You create stuff to make it happen.
Michael, your leg is cramping. Down.
I would never have that happen.
James, a little bit clumsy, and honestly, Tristan Henry won't mind. He hasn't needed to touch the ball today.
In all seriousness, you need a leader on this team right now to stand up and make something like that happen if they need it. Whatever that takes. It's a game of deception, and you have to make those scenarios happen if you need to take a breather and reorganize yourself. And at worst, start organizing defending properly.
Hamilton again turning in the middle.
Look where Borges is now. Tassis had to come all the way out to get Borges. You don't want your center back that far out.
Maliko Oluwabi Bellawu was hoping there was a whistle to accompany his somersaults. But we play on. Babuli. Petrasso wanted the ball. Rama is hustling back into position, a bit too late to catch them off guard, but they do complete the pass. Petrasso just delaying. Now Jeremy Gagnon-Lapare. Gagnon-Lapare! Henry pushes that off the bar. When they get their chance, Will, they're looking pretty dangerous. First Ricci and now Gagnon Lapierre.
Oh. Did he touch that?
He did.
He did.
That's why there's a corner.
End to end.
And this, boom, the woodwork is the...
Didn't even move. What a hit by Lapierre. Starts with a brilliant ball out to Pichazzo. He holds a little bit, opens the space. Right-footed by Lapierre. Beautiful. That's better though, eh?
And now he's showing his ambidextrous play. Corner on the left. Brian Wright goes up for it. Challenged by Alex Ascignoni-Janssen. And Ajax Ontario's Brian Wright can't keep it down.
Life.
Well, they need to sustain it now.
Agreed.
I don't know that Martin Nash would be thrilled with one chance every 15 minutes.
Well, not if he's given up 5 the other end. This guy is the guy that can trigger it.
Settled down by Ricci. And blasts off of Ascignoni-Janssen, and the throw will stay with York. Sumaro forces Pedrasso to adjust. Adjusts effectively. Paris G now. Ball in towards this spot. Hojabrpour on it first. Gagnon Lapierre deemed to have shoved off against Mr. Jensen, and that is where that foul comes from.
That's a veteran play by Noah Jensen there. He knows that Lapierre is coming, stops a little bit, feels the push, goes down. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of what York might need to do to slow the game down if they're getting pinned.
If you need the reminder, I'll be your alarm. Canada and United States of America in the Gold Cup quarterfinal begins right now. This is a perfect second screen viewing kind of day. Will and I think you should keep our volume up, but of course we're biased.
I think, is your mom watching? Maybe mine is. Actually, I think she's probably watching Canada, USA.
My mom's probably on the deck and doesn't even know I'm working. If I get a text in 30 seconds, you know who it's from. Raman Jensen, clever combination.
See how Hamilton, and it's almost like 2 strikers now. Belarus come up so high. Maybe 4 across the top at a certain time.
Classic 3-3-4.
Yes.
That looked like it might have caught Hamilton's hand. We play on. Jensen has it go. Not Owen Jensen! Off the post again! Are you kidding me? 3 in 5 minutes! York can't clear, it's Campbell. He has the goal. Around Gagnon Lapierre, standing tackle from Roger Thompson.
Goodness me. Hamilton and Tarrant up top are causing nothing but problems and turnovers. Jensen takes that one out of his feet. Giansopoulos nowhere near it. Inside of the post and out behind him. Those are agonizing. What a hit though.
This is Borges for Campbell. Beautiful ball, Taryn Campbell. Oh, he is a cool customer. As he has a brace in just 32 minutes of work. Inch perfect delivery from Tristan Borges to set it all up. It is absolute and utter shambles for York United with still 60 minutes to go.
This is the forge that most of us have been waiting for. Look at this ball, into space, slipped, perfect timing, no chance. Giansopoulos wondering, where is everybody? Well done, Tarrant Campbell.
Well, it was such a big move for Tarrant when he came over from Pacific. And it wasn't brilliant at times last year for him. But man, oh man, in these last 4 or 5 matches, has he really taken that number 9 shirt, not only from Jordan Hamilton, but Woobens Pasillas last year, who was challenging him game in, game out. Now looks like Noah Jensen might be leaking as he is being walked towards the touchline by Yusri Rudolph. Not sure if something or someone split him open, but the training staff will make sure that if there is any bleeding that it's stopped. Caught him in the eye, but he looks like he's going to be able to continue. Terran Campbell now has not only the goals record, but tied for the all-time brace record in the CPL with Joao Morelli, whose return is just around the corner. He's playing with Halifax's U23s in a friendly today. Set up in a goal and assist for Mr. Morelli.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to him and Coimbra getting together. A couple of Brazilians hanging out.
Olavi Bello doesn't want a hand. And that's the problem for York, is that they feel forced into these moments. Ricci has his 4th. He will be unavailable for Friday's match versus Pacific.
Yeah, that could go either way, but can't be a ton of complaint there. Annoying as it is for Ricci. I think the transition defending by York leaves a lot to be desired right now. I'm afraid it hasn't been that way. They seem lose the ball, space is open, and away they go.
So we have 3 multi-goal games this season. No hat trick yet in 2023. Terran Campbell has never had a CPL hat trick. Not betting against him, though. Well, speaking of those Halifax Wanderers, our next match in the CPL Tuesday in Nova Scotia as they host Pacific from 7 p.m. Atlantic time. Olavi Bello is mystified. He is convinced he had the ball.
Let's have a look.
Oh, he's right.
He is right. Studs are up. I think the yell maybe sold it a bit much there, and not a big fan of the yell. But
Maxi is a vocal young man. Full-time footballer. Aspiring actor, I think, at times as well.
It is an absolute plan to not have Taz Mordekaitis have the ball and progress. Every time it's going to that left side of York's defense, and then it's decisions being made, and often it's putting someone else under pressure and knocking it out of play like this.
Well, the one time he was successful in doing it, you could see why they don't want him to do it, because he set up a scoring chance.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, Taz got the ball, knocked the ball 80 yards, whatever it is, 60 yards to Petrasso, so I agree. But keep it out of his feet has been a plan for sure.
Well, it's Derby o'clock. I would be very, very surprised if Brian Wright evades a caution here. It's a yellow card worthy tackle. Nowhere near the ball and caught Ram on the leg.
Well, especially after one's just been given less than 60 seconds ago on the other side. So consistency is always a player's and a coach's, biggest issue with the men in the middle. Can you be consistent? We're all happy.
Ventricar James just emptied half of that water ball, and I don't think any of it went in his mouth.
Have a quick wash.
Get the pebbles off.
No card.
Brian Wright can consider himself a lucky man. I'm wondering if we don't see Osaze Di Rosario start the second half. They looked promising in their 4-4-2. With both of them up top, Brian Wright was able to set Osaze up for a match winner. Something's got to change. There's no way they come out with this exact same formation and lineup in the second half.
Well, I don't think they can. They need to get some pressure to the ball, especially when they give it away. The two guys in the middle are always 2 or 3 yards off, and they're the guys who nearly always make that transition happen quickly. That's better.
Well, they'll see how they can involve Sumaro and Gagnon operate more offensively. That might be the ticket. Tristan Henry makes the catch.
I think I'd be inviting my goalie to get the ball, keeper to get the ball from my center back so I can get it out the other side to someone like Mordekaitis. Apologies again. I'm just gonna call him Taz.
Smart.
But the space is behind Bellevue because he's so far up. If he can actually attack through that side, it's a chance to pin him back more.
Suffocating pressure from Alex Ashinodi-Janssen. Wright is able to get the pass off for Gagnon Lapare. In behind of Ricci. York will keep the throw, however. In for Wright is going to fall for him. I think he was looking for Mo Babuli, and he goes down in a heap. On the derby kicked off, it's gotten very, very chippy since Taron Campbell's second.
That can't be a foul.
It can't be because
he's kicked him. Yeah, it does hurt though. He smashed him right in the knee.
You cannot tell me that Rezard Rama is not bionic. Anyone else just shattered their patella, and I don't think Rezard even flinched.
He's turned around.
Rezard, the kind of guy you kick, and you're the one that hurts from it.
He plays a lot too. Right on cue.
Knee looks okay.
It's better from Lapare.
He is their motor. Petrasso, better from him as well. Babuli's able to find Max Furry, one of his first times towards the attacking third. Trying to cause some fits for Owolabi Bellevue like he's been given. Loses the ball, but Becker does the same. Babuli, Samaro wants it, pass doesn't come. Babuli accelerating, and 3 orange shirts close down on him, and you can understand why.
Fantastic touch. Oh.
Hamilton goes down. Rudolph was happy to let play continue. Here's Petrasso towards the back post. Ricci the closest to. Right at Tristan Henry, and he's right. Unfortunately, a little bit of calm.
Tiny bit of life here from York, though. I think Forge will be happy to get in at half.
This is Campbell. Wanted Borges, whose assist on the second goal increases his lead in the all-time assist list. 4 past Marco Busto now, his 22nd ever. Great sequence from Forge. It's Campbell, he shoots. Loose ball, Thompson goes to ground. And offside as Borges made a play towards the York United captain. That prompts the whistle from referee Rudolph.
He's not held that tremendously well. If that goes out a little bit further, that's a goal. I mean, we said it 4 or 5 times here, but watch, he's pinned. Oh, he lands right on his ankle. Ouch. But Petrasso's got 3 guys squeezing him just because they simply keep playing it to that side instead of playing it through their goalie and go out the other way. Forge needs to narrow in for York to be able to play out wide like they are. A few passes, bit of patience. That though, on replay is very painful when a guy just lands on your ankle.
It looks like a smile, but I promise you it's not. They could have used this timeout 20 minutes ago, before the goals. It was 24 minutes and 23 seconds into the game when Campbell opened the scoring. But add another less than 8 minutes later. I know that this is a beef that I've had, and I mentioned this a few times. Look at the shin guard. Is it a guard? Look at the shin tape.
It's tape.
Look at the sticky thing he keeps on his shin to keep his sock from dropping.
The rest of the body uncovered. I'm not sure anybody really understands why anymore.
Yeah.
Giving up on the shin.
Listen, my favorite sport requires people to slash each other and body check each other consistently with next to no equipment. I have no problem with it. I just find it hilarious that they still have to wear the shin guards.
And then it gets checked so seriously.
Yes, it does. Fourth official, you got them? Yep, okay.
Yeah.
We digress. Into stoppage time of the first half. Jordan Hamilton waiting to be readmitted. And 4 minutes, the minimum time to be added on. And Hamilton looking like his day might be done. Yeah, he goes back down to ground. Tried to continue. He's not going to be able to, so he's going to take a seat. And user Rudolph should not be blowing the whistle. York are in possession. They know what the injury is to Hamilton. I don't want to harp on the referee, but I'm not sure why he stopped the play. Jordan is not in any amount of trouble. It is not a head injury. And David Chouanière is going to technically be a first half substitute. David Edgar giving him the tactical game plan.
Horrible to have that kind of depth on your bench, eh?
I believe in statements from coaches in their selection, and I think David had been given one. He has not been poor, just like Borges has not been poor, but they need them to be better, need them to be where they are.
Agreed.
Babuli gives a tap to Hamilton on his way out. 2 former TFC guys right there.
It's too bad. I mean, the link up between Hamilton and the work rate, the combined work rate between Hamilton and Terran Campbell was actually really working.
I think that's the best game I've seen Hamilton play in a Ford shirt. Or for best half, I guess we have to say.
Yeah, I would say the exact same thing.
So as a substitute, Chouanière makes his 4th appearance off the bench.
Another win.
Oh, this is no man's land. Giantsopoulos did the right thing by parking it before venturing any further. If Campbell's able to clip that over, wide open goal.
Yep, ball. The faster that ball goes forward from York, the faster it's coming back.
Babuli somehow comes away with the ball. Cleanly dispossesses Mandrakar James, who takes a shoulder check from Brem Sumaro. He slides. And okay, I'm puzzled. You have an explanation for me? Because I do not understand what's happening.
Why did he stop it? They just broke.
Is he booking each of them? That's the only thing I can think of. That's the only reason he'd blow the whistle in that environment. He didn't hit him, but it was like, I know that you're trying to hurt him on a studs up challenge. but that's twice now. York are on a break, and they've been stopped. I'm very confused.
They were fully in possession and going forward. No one's injured.
It's known that I need to get my badges updated, but even 16-year-old me remembers that one.
I'm not upgrading mine.
You've got the color commentator badge now. You're allowed to just be the expert. That's why we pay you the big bucks, Will. Mandrakar James also needed to get to the end of this game without a caution to avoid suspension for the GBR, but he doesn't, so he is out for the next game as well on a silly one where that was just a spiteful slide.
With a minute and a half left in the half.
Up by 2.
Why was he up there? I was trying to figure that out in the first place. Like, why is he there now?
Because sometimes he's a striker.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Tongue-in-cheek, of course, but we're looking for few things that didn't go right for Forge. Into the 5th minute of added time with a comfortable advantage. They lose a player to injury. They lose a player for the next match to suspension. But aside from that, this 9:05 derby has been very, very orange.
That just seems like poor game management is all I'm meaning. Now he misses another game where they can get on a roll. He's obviously an anchor. He's played, pardon me, but he's probably played every minute, has he not?
Who are we after, James?
Mandrakar James.
Pretty close to every minute.
Yeah, I mean, he's an anchor in there for sure. But now he has to miss a game, and you're that close to halftime. I can see Mo Babouli getting frustrated as well. He needs halftime just to have a cup of tea and come out and play. He can be liable to do interesting things.
Looking for a bright side, Government Shea Matusla should be back from the Gold Cup in time for the next game. There's your center back.
There you go.
Well, it was a derby, wasn't it?
It's hard to get there, that's for sure.
And it's
enjoyable.
Only 50% of the way there. Mo Babouli is going to need to become the Mo Babouli that CPL supporters remember, because his side are on the wrong side of Taryn Campbell and his 7th brace in CPL history, extending his all-time lead in the goal total. He is also up on 6th this year and one back of the Golden Boot race. Giant Soplis needs the defense shored up in front of him, and York needs some soul-searching at halftime. It is halftime, and York trail by 2-0.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I hide away.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing. Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
We created Carlsberg 00 because even the best things can be better with alcohol-free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space, better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
Hey, so Mom's thing's coming up. Should we book flights?
Let's do it.
Oh, there's an early flight. We'll be there by lunch.
Speech. Or the later one?
What if we went the day before?
Sure. Stuff these up.
Yeah, I'd go for this one.
Oh, perfect.
Be there when it counts. With over 500 flights every single day, we have a flight for that.
How do you go from the best to the ultimate without breaking the bank? you choose the big, bold, ultimate taste of Ultimate Chicken Sausages and Hot Dogs. Choose ultimate taste and value, only from Maple Lodge Farms.
Time has passed me by without you by my side. When I think of all that's gone, you're still the one. Never let it go, 'cause you know for sure we've been apart, now I need you more. Still those times I fade away.
Degree 72-hour non-stop protection. Antiperspirant with motion sense. Tested to the limit. Degree keeps working when others stop.
It is halftime of the final match in the Canadian Premier League this weekend, match day number 13. And these foldable chairs are a good thing when you weigh more than 10 pounds. Good time for a snack, good time to take a break. There's a Diadine Abzi Poe shirt, which is absolutely gorgeous. He, of course, one of their big exports, and they could certainly use him in a game like this, couldn't they, Mr. Cromack? Because they are being torched at their fullback positions. It's 2-0 after 45 minutes, but it could have been a whole lot worse with a derby that is full of cautions, scoring chances, and goals. Your impressions on that first 40?
Yeah, it started early and kept on going that way. The press was working for the first time in a long time for Forge. Chance after chance. I mean, this one could have easily gone in to open it. Really, just all Forge in my mind.
The first goal would come from Taron Campbell. Nico Giantsopoulos did everything he could. He's left and right, diving all over the place. But the one man they don't pick up is the man who has scored more times than anyone else in league history. 1-0 for Forge was just about 2, which probably could have been their 6th as it hits the post. The best chance, though, Gagnon Laparé with a missile. It takes the fingertips of Tristan Henry to push it off the crossbar. Hamilton almost had another. And then finally, the patience pays off. Borges, his league career, the all-time lead in assists as well, 22nd, the perfect slip. And then speaking of slip, the finish from Campbell is exceptional.
Yeah, I mean, what a pass. Everything about that play was brilliant. Out from the back, into space, slipped pass, perfect weight.
And then the frustrations would start to boil over. Jensen had been booked in the 14th minute for Austin Ricci. The one and only caution for York United in the half that sees him suspended for their upcoming match. Malik Owolabi-Bellawoo would be shown a yellow 70 seconds after the fact. That was the referee trying to manage the game a little bit. And then Mandrakar James gets himself suspended for Forge's next game as well for a needless foul in the attacking half, up by 2 in first half stoppage time. I think I sold my point there. Here are the stats after the first half of play. It is 54% possession for Forge. That's fine. Look at the shots. Let's do that. 13-3 and 5-1 on target. No wonder it feels oh so lopsided after just 45 minutes of play. 36 final third entries from Forge to just 23 from York United. And even worse, 17 touches in the opposition box for the Hammers, 3 for the 9 Stripes. Hit the woodwork 3 times out of all of those shots, and we saw them in the first half highlights. Speaking of highlights, let's take a look back at some of the better moments. Well, okay, I've been asking, this is important, I'm glad we didn't go to the feature right away. I've been asking for a raccoon mascot at York Lions Stadium for a while, and they took that too literally. I will be texting Angus McNabb about that right away. But yes, the center of the universe folk will certainly be enjoying the fact that they have a companion in the stands. Okay, with that said, now let's look back at the earlier matches. Pacific and Cavalry, Vancouver and Halifax with the second half, which is about 6 minutes away. Yeah, they're just protecting the grass swell.
Just protecting the grass. It's all good.
There's Antigone. This is a nice sequence from the Cavs. Bevan was offside, still offside, but Cobbs is not. Eric Kabza has found the open net. Well read from Pacific, sliding.
There's that little link play, though.
And now Aird to the middle for Bevan, backheel. Here's Aird. Fraser Aird makes it a second. Meyer Bevan with the sexy little back heel, and Frazier aired. Makes no mistake. Daly doesn't come away with it the first or second time. Here's Salouf. And then Salouf cuts it back, has to shoot Reed. Why is he not shooting? Twice now. Aparicio gets the scraps. Does that catch the hand of Daly? Scott Bowman thinks so. Manny Aparicio can give Pacific a chance when they really don't deserve it at the moment. Aparicio, but he puts it over the bar. Posing the toughest challenges and asking a heck of a lot of questions of this defensive unit for the Cavs. Corner taken short. Now it's into the box. Cut back. Chasing it down. Aparicio. Is that a handball? Looked like it caught Cam down the cross anyways. And Easton Ongaro on the doorstep. A borderline alley-oop, and Pacific have life. Leans into Kwok, keeps his balance, and now Hundal sprung Filion out of his goal. Hundal can try a quick shot if he wants it. Also has Kintab. This is Hundal to his left. Cut back Kintab. Now he goes. Still Kintab for Kwok. Across and Batar taps it in. Halifax lift their arms in a desperate appeal for offside. Booting the ball away is Cameron, but it's collected by the men in the white shirts. Headed to the back post. What a response! Thiago Coimbra! Woohoo! Here we go. Try and catch them if it opens. Martinez spun inside out. It's fair and again. And forward. Sneaks it in behind. Watson was who we wanted to play the ball to, but it was stuck in a sea of boots, and Vancouver flipped the script. Kwok gets his service this time. To the middle, plays it across Hundal, and Kintab, Mickey Kintab, his first for Vancouver. And what a timely moment to get on the board. Unselfish again from Sean Hundal, their leading goal scorers, playing assist man today. Kintab, Romeo, and Kwok. It's Mickey up and over, and that is a worldie. No, is it? I thought that was in the nets. Well, we are just about at the end of another match week with the win earlier for Atletico Ottawa. They moved to 6th in the table, and they are just 1 point back of the Halifax Wanderers for that 5th and final playoff positions. 2 newcomers into the team as well. It was a great afternoon at the nation's capital. Same cannot be said for Fowler, who probably could have and should have lost that match by 4 or 5 goals to nil. Pacific, they lost yesterday to Cavalry. That closes the gap, but Forge in the live table would go ahead of the Cavs by 1 point, but with 2 more matches having been played. York United would finish the week in 4th if this scoreline holds. Vancouver, they were momentarily out of the CPL basement, but unfortunately they were not able to sustain that because of how everything else went around them in this match week. But some good signs of improvement for Ashvin Goppi's side over in Langley. Time for one more break. When we come back, we will keep an eye out for Raccoons and also for some more goals. Half number 2 of our match of the week coming up next.
It looks like we're headed towards
And many people's dreams of owning a home.
What's keeping you up at night?
I'm kind of stressed about my money situation.
Oof, it's stressful to talk about.
Oscar, come here.
Here's your financial stress companion.
She definitely helps.
It's never too late to start.
Good portfolio?
Back with saving for my first down payment.
We created Carlsberg 0-0 because even the best things can be better where alcohol-free beer. Clean one-handed backhand is better. Balancing stuff is better. Whatever this is better. We created Carlsberg. Skipping your own ad is better. Parking in space better. So, can the best alcohol-free beer make good things better? Probably.
Just about time for the second half at York Lions Stadium, about 30 minutes from sunset here in North York, Ontario. It is the match of the week. Forge were favorited heading into the game. I'd be very curious what the odds are right now that they will at least get a point, because Taryn Campbell is on an absolutely brilliant run of form, a first half brace. He has never scored a hat trick in his CPL career, and at the moment I am not betting against him. Will, your thoughts on his performance as at the number 9? They've been desperate for one of those three to just go out and take that shirt.
He's done a tremendous job off the ball. Him and Hamilton working together. It's gonna be interesting now with Schwanier in there, but he's taking his chances. That's all everybody wants, is if you get one, take your chances. That shirt's yours.
York United needs Mo in this second half, because he was very, very quiet through 45 minutes of play, and credit to Forge for the slightly different tactical look, the energy, the ferocity with which they played that first period. But if York want anything out of this game, they are ahead of Forge, at least in the table before the game started. Not so in the live. If they get 2, they will stay ahead of their 905 rivals. Underway for the second half. It is Forge in their primary orange today with the great numbers and letters. They work from right to left on your screen towards Nico Giantsopoulos' goal at the north end of the stadium here at York University. York United in green and blue, working from left to right. This should be more of a traditional 4-3-3 for Forge with Schwanier's inclusion. His first touches of the game, he replaced Jordan Hamilton, who left injured with a hard crunching tackle in that first half. And Rezard Rama slipping that in behind Michael Petrasso, who was given his first start of the season. No Johnny Grant, no Noah Batney, no Marky Wojciechowski. Those 3 9 stripes out injured.
Which doesn't help the U21 minutes, that's for certain. You mentioned Mo not getting into the game. It's really almost everything to do with Forge's press and their pinning to the side. It's not allowing them to get the ball up top at all.
Here's Tristan Borgia trying to end it. Goal is trying to deflects, and he's gonna get his goal. August the 20th of last year was the last time Tristan Borges found this score sheet. He gets some luck, but the run is over. And it's against York United again. That could not have gone worse to start the second half. It is going to be an agonizing 45 minutes from here as Forge have a third and the 3 points all but locked up. Tristan's first goal of the season, you know how much that means to him.
Absolute nightmare as a keeper as he watched that dribble in on a He's done well. He's gone right across the box, though. You want him in that spot. It's like a penalty where you've dove the wrong way.
His off foot and off of Sumaro, and Giantsopoulos just has to watch that.
Agonizing.
Really? You've got to be kidding me.
But Borges will take it. He's probably needed that. He's got tons of assists, as you rightly mentioned. Assist leader all time. A really nice one tonight. And actually topping off another performance that you can commend as well. Some of the big boys coming out today to finally start playing.
Brian Wright off of his shoulder and to the hands of Tristan Henry. It's now 19 goals conceded for Nico Giantsopoulos this season. I don't fault him for a single one tonight.
Something's going to have to change pretty quickly here. You mentioned Di Rosario and the 4-4-2 that we saw last week. That might have to happen. Got to go for something.
Well, I am truly shocked that there were no changes out of York.
Not too long.
Not a single one at halftime.
You're at home. You got a full squad.
Let's go, man.
I'd agree with you. It's not really been good enough in a derby. Forge has owned this from minute about 6 onwards.
Taron Campbell with 2 braces now this season. 4 goals in his last 3 games. Borges and Becker off of the Ozzy Mordekudis. And out for a Forge corner. They're not going to slow down. They would have no problem dropping 6 or 7 on York. In fact, they'd probably take great joy in it.
By the looks of it, it's possible.
Forge finally have a positive goal differential again. For the longest time, all of these corners were short routines. They've gone back to the more traditional end of the box. They do it again. That's a set play right for Alessandro Hojabrapur. Took it on the volley, but couldn't find a way through.
I've seen him hit those. He has it in his locker to do that. Just missed that. In the first half, he was probably the first one to take a shot on just off target. He can cleanly strike a ball. But yes, right off the training ground, wasn't it? Wide open. What Forge are doing there to keep York narrow defensively is exactly what York should be doing.
They need a spark. Might they find it through Brian Wright? We're seeing some streaks ended tonight. He would like his goalless run to do the same. And again, they get into a promising position, but are not allowed any admission in the 18-yard box. This is Petrasso, defended by Rama.
I love how Rama just sometimes puts his foot on the ball to slow the game down. And plays it again.
Sliding is Mordekudis. Olabi Belavu had shed 1 and 2 defenders. But the Aussie was not to be beat.
I think he was just tired, needed a break. It's a long run. It's like, boss, I'm a center back. You got me playing like Rama.
He is gasping.
I had him out in training, and he was helping out some of our young players. Fantastic guy, English, really good guy, excellent trainer, wants to be a pro so badly, getting his chance with Bobby, the people moving on. Done a really good job of getting into this squad. This is a hard squad to break into. I mean, you don't just show up at the champions all the time.
Just over a week removed from his 21st birthday.
Add into the minutes.
2 passports, born in London, spent a few years in Birmingham before moving to Mississauga at 4 years old. Forward to the halfway mark of their season, 1,023 U21 Canadian minutes. York United go another game without starting a single young Canadian, and that number is growing larger. You're going to see Elias Amaris, I think, get a lot of starts in the home stretch.
I just mentioned Bellou again. You know, sometimes you just say to your boss, I just want to be on the field. If you think I'm good enough, just stick me somewhere. I'm just willing to play. That's a great attitude. Don't know how that wasn't a foul.
This is Petrasso, and that basically sums up the first 53 minutes of the game for York. Obviously, the long-term injury to Marky Wojciechowski is not helping the cause. He had 167 of their minutes. Noah Batney also out injured with a hand. So I think there might be some League One Ontario kids that get some phone calls in and around October. And the transfer window is open, so you never know.
Yeah, the League One call-up thing is interesting, but pretty much at this stage have to sign someone and trust that they can play.
David Chouanier in the 54th minute. Advancing on his right foot. Trying to go around G. Crossed over. Campbell! The hat trick! One more box on his CPL resume ticked off as he has a 3rd goal of the game in the 54th minute. It's done. Give them the 3 points. It's 3 goals for Terran Campbell. And it is just the 6th hat trick in CPL history. It is the 3rd from Forge. Terran Campbell, it is way too easy.
You could see Chouanier was only had one thing in his mind: get down the line and dig a cross out. Nobody close enough, bumping, doing anything to put off Campbell. I'm not saying that's an easy finish, but a guy like him is putting that in every time.
There is something about July and CPL hat tricks. The first one ever, Rodrigo Gattas against the Halifax Wanderers, then when it was York 9, July 27th, 2019. Alejandro Diaz, Pacific against Valor, July 22nd, 2021. Diaz again against York, Friday, July 15th of last year. The Woobens Pacific just 4 days later. Forge against Edmonton, July 19th. Add Campbell to that list.
On fire right now. And speaking of those U21 minutes, I think Martin would take everybody off and stick a whole new team out there.
Yeah, I think he would literally just call the Montezeri or somebody if he could and say, all right, finish it off. It's done.
Give me all the minutes I can get and take off a whole bunch of these guys who are underperforming. Uncharacteristic giveaway there by Laparet. Paris G getting beat down the line. That rarely happens.
Murtakutis giving up a free header. It's just been one of those games for York.
Yeah. In a derby, not what you want. And this is where I'd be very careful with a guy like Mo Babuli. You're going to need him going forward. You're going to write this game off. Yeah, he's liable at times to do interesting things when the game is out of sight.
I just watched you go for the thesaurus in your brain, and interesting was probably the safest one to come up with.
You know, you're starting to think ahead. You got to get this game done professionally now. Get paid to play football. Make sure you don't embarrass yourself any further. And then get some guys off to rest and get prepared again.
And the other thing that Forge need to be careful of is that they are not lured into silly yellows. Jensen, Owolabi, Bellou, and James on bookings. Ricci for York United, and that shouldn't surprise anyone. Wholesale changes coming up.
Yeah, if I'm Bobby and I've got 4, I'm looking at getting my minutes in. The load on certain guys that's been there while we're struggling through a little bit of a run. This is going to build tons of confidence.
Advantage being played as it is a great steal from Borges. David Chouanière couldn't get to the loose ball. Nice interception from Owolabi Bellew. Jensen to Becker. Chouanière makes his patented run. Owolabi Bellew ahead to it. Out for a goal kick, and here will come the changes for the men in green and blue. So Brian Wright out for Osaze Di Rosario. Kevin Santos, Usama Olu into the game, and this is a quad. It's the second time we have seen a quad change in the CPL this season. Valor had done one when Phil Dos Santos was ready to tear a strip off of his side. Ricci, that's a yellow card preservation. Babuli, that's a keep him healthy and keep him out of trouble move. Petrasso in his first start of the year almost goes an hour, but the resounding sentiment is oof.
Yeah, I mean, these are statements at the same time as there's some practicality to it. Wright hasn't scored. I thought Petrasso was at least lively, trying. He might look to start him again, and definitely you're trying to keep Mo, a little bit of a talisman, away from anything untoward.
Osaze Di Rosario has brought a energetic spark. Ferrari crunched as Ashinori Janssen lays the tackle.
I mean, aside from James engaging to get his yellow, I haven't had much to do.
Daniel Lapore not far off of Osaze Di Rosario. And it is Diro with 2 goals on the year, 2 back with Mo Babuli, 2 assists as well, so the same goal contributions. Sama Olu 2 and 2 as well.
Listen, these guys, 30 minutes, they'll go, hey, you guys did that. We want to play the next game. You got 30 minutes to audition.
Switched over to Borges. Tristan Borges to his right. This is a heat check. Gets his first and almost got a second, the same way he scored goal number 3 of the match tonight.
We shouldn't say Forge is back, but it's nice to see a Forge-esque performance that has been missing for a little while, wouldn't you say?
Well, it depends on who you ask.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a CPL fan.
Yes, the neutral wants to see the best play their best, but I think other sides are like, really? I thought we had him on the mat.
Yeah.
They're back. Baya for Diro again, and it's just shutdown time for Forge at the moment. Emphatic clearance. The center backs have been great tonight. Tristan Henry probably would prefer them to be a little less great so he could have something to do.
You know, it'll be interesting going through. Cavalry starting to feel like they're getting their groove on. Forge, Pacific. Those are the 3 top teams, and this could be an interesting last half.
Daniel Lapore and Sumaro. Alou. Over the top for Di Rosario, he fans on it. That was their way in. It's a good run.
Hey, fantastic run in behind. Look, I mean, this is what you want to see. Forge a little bit lackadaisical at the top, no pressure to the ball, all over the top. There's Dad. Oh, and I would have had that.
Bucket hat is quite the look for Dwayne.
Yeah, you score that many goals, you can wear whatever you want.
Very good point. Kevin Santos says 1, 2, 3, goodbye. Higher in the moment to take this shot. He's got some magic in his feet, and I think we're going to see a lot of that.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Forge to keep the intensity up. And the new boys coming in want to get a spot for the next match to prove that they should have been in today for the derby. If you're Forge, you want to just professionally play this last 30 minutes, keep the ball, don't do anything silly. Don't give York any life. Exactly like this.
The incredibly surprising thing for Forge is that this is the third time this season they've scored 3 or more goals. They did it to Valor, and what a thriller that had been. 3-2 back in May. It is also our next match of the week to Morgan's Field, July the 15th from 6 p.m. Central Time. So a caution will be shown to Rezard Rama. It's his 5th of the season. He's not
Are we even
entirely
sure that should
why.
be a foul? He's recovered after losing the ball.
Let's
What's happening here?
investigate.
I think he's won the ball and it's just followed through, but I'm not sure that's a yellow card. Been a couple of yelled calls today that our pal Jim Brennan will not have enjoyed. Do not show him the highlights.
If they have the monitor on in the booth behind us, Jim is fuming.
It sounds crazy, but you know, even Bellawoo's tackle, he's won the ball. Yes, he's come through, but it's a tackle. Should be nothing wrong with that.
James didn't even touch the guy he got booked for.
I know.
That's 3 now.
I don't think we can take that out of the game.
The decision's not going to be reversed. And now York have another opportunity as they go over the wall, and Henry, welcome to the match, my friend. Denying Osama Alou with a great reaction. Jumping over to the right, and now will have to defend a corner.
Good hit. The 4 boys coming in have done something, haven't they?
Outswinger from Gagnon Lapare. We're watching Roger Thompson. York should go again, and they will.
Good hit. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going in, but Henry's not going to pretend he knows
Don't take
exactly
that
where.
from him.
Oh,
He's got nothing else
he's made
going
2
on.
tip saves. He's had to stay active. That's hard to do when you
Very hard to
really
do.
haven't touched the ball for ages.
Alou, also an outswinger, and no doubt about a goal kick this time. That's a gorgeous shot from the camera in behind of Tristan Henry's goal with the sun low in the sky. It is sunset in North York. Cotton candy.
Not the best of home score lines, though.
And now it is Forge's turn to have wholesale changes. Awkwardly, Tasmur Nakutis goes to ground. You do not want him injured on top of this. And that looks like back of the foot, and they do not need another foot injury here at York Lions Stadium.
Yeah, I think that might be real.
I think that's definitely real. So a triple for Bobby Smirniotis. You mentioned the U21 Canadian minutes. They'll get another 50 out of Kwesi Poku and Kadeem Kane. Rubens Pasillas will also take over. But right now, as those moves are being made, certainly spare a thought for Tasmur Nakutis, because that could be a long-term issue.
I mean, they've already had to play Paris G back there a bunch. Tasmur Nakutis going out would be a disaster.
I will never forget Bobby Smirniotis. This could have been the first 4-goal game in CPL history. We're not going to get to see it, but you understand, I think Campbell has done more than enough to earn the rest of the evening off. What a performance. Easiest man of the match selection we'll ever have.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Campbell's like, boom, 3 goals, taking a break. I'll take it.
All smiles from the coaching staff. Fubens Pasillas, you know he's going to want to get in on the goal-scoring party. Well, they lost Marky Wojciechowski to what they're calling a foot injury, what I am assuming is an Achilles. I don't know that it's an Achilles for Tass, because otherwise he would not be walking off right now, but if I'm York United, I am not messing with that if I don't have to, and they definitely don't have to, down by 4 goals.
Doesn't look comfortable, but he is walking again, so hopefully it's just a little stinger. Should take about 3-4 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's feeling a little bit of mobility again. What a luxury to be able to take off a guy like Jensen who's putting in miles, and then comes Sissoko who can run and run and run.
Scoring off against a former Wanderer as well, Jeremy Gagnon-Lapierre.
I know my pal Martin Rennie, when he was coaching Indy 11 in the US South Championship, loved him. Just thought the world of him, could go and go and go.
'69th minute. I've been corrected. I was reading the training report wrong, and that's why I should be paying closer attention to those injury lists. It is a foot for Wojciechowski. Appreciate that correction. Near side Baya. Overlapping is Ferrari. And tumbling to the ground just before the 18-yard box. Following up, though, is Kevin Santos. Sends his effort wide of the frame.
Not sure what the yelling was about there. It was well tackled by Bellawoo. Good turn. Good hit. Unlucky to not get that on target, but bringing a little bit of life.
Canada and the U.S. are deadlocked 0-0 after 45 minutes. Halftime in Cincinnati. Panama awaits a trip to San Diego in a Gold Cup semifinal. One of those situations where you're not thrilled with the draw that you'd have to play the Americans first, but if they can get through them, Panama's a better option than Mexico on the other side, though the Jamaicans are on 5s right now.
Panama just roasted Qatar.
Osaze de Rosario, it's a great spin. Patience and nobody around. Gagnon-Lapierre, he does not know how to quit. It doesn't matter what the score is, he's going to play like it's 0-0 in a World Cup final. Standing tackle from Ashinoti Janssen. Kudus is still battling.
I think I'm just taking the sting out of this game if I can now. Just move the ball as quickly as possible, back and forth. Big green run. Get to the end. Go have a fresca.
James. Diagonal ball out left for Kwesi Poku. He's defended by Max Ferrari. Olabi Bellawoo receives at the touchline and turned over. De Rosario, nice chop. Ashinoti Janssen misses. Baya, he wanted to sprint and keep it in play, but he just ran out of room.
I think Becker's probably looking over the bench going, hey, you guys making a mistake here. I'm good. We're up 5-4. Give the old man a break here.
You took Noah off and you left me, says Scott.
Exactly.
I've got almost a decade on it. Olabi Bellawoo getting some treatment on his left foot. More substitutions will be made here with about 20 really just finalize the score. Baldissimo has his match kit on. He's working back from an injury as well. We saw him appear for a couple of minutes off the bench in that win at Vancouver Football Club, which was, of course, a cool one for him being a local.
Yeah, and I think he's the type of guy, I mean, you wish you probably had him today. He's the type of guy that if you get down by 1 or 2, might go and put a stamp on something. Maybe another player.
So it looks like some clerical things going on, but Maliko Alabi-Belawu is helped off, and that will prompt Dom Samuel to try and quickly get to the midway line. Mordekudis has his elbow patched up. He was cut open.
No, you enter here, man.
This is the 4th official's first game in the CPL. He's trying to assert himself. Enter here.
Sock tape should look like this, and those knee-high tackles, we're just going to ignore them.
So Dom Samuel has been booked in each of his last 3 games. It would be quite the milestone if he can do it in 17 minutes. But it's a derby, and you never know.
We believe. We believe
in Dom. Lou, clever touch. I do love that, though, how Forge had gone 11 games without Samuel getting a caution. 1, 2, and 3, back to back to back.
Mr. Forge has been there, seen it all. They know what he can bring to the table. He loves being around still, and he still has a lot to give.
Out into the channel for Paris G. Right-footed cross, Kwesi Poku dropping back to defend, and Samuel clears.
Oh, Mordekudis is limping badly.
And again, I know it's tough with who you have available. Don't know how he's still in the game.
Yeah. Sometimes you're looking down your bench and you're not sure if there's anybody to go back in there. But I'd be inclined to drop in Paris G if I had to. He's done it before. It's unlikely that you're coming back for. Not to say they should give up, but preserve and protect the men you need for the next go.
That was their last substitution as well, bringing in Baldissimo for Gagnon Lapare. Here's Kyle Becker for Poku. High to the back post, and Karam's off the shin of Paris G and out for another Forge corner.
We've also seen Baldy go back there in a pinch.
He can do it.
He's definitely capable. I think he's the type of guy that you know, they might have needed at the start of this game. I know he's coming back from an injury, but in the middle, tackling his own shadow. Just a lack of energy today, and the movement of the ball is just slower. And you get that sometimes. As a coach, you have to write it off.
Forge looking for a 5th. Giantsopoulos punches it out of the box. Chouanière. Pushed back by Kevin Santos. Mordekudis. Samaro. Overhead clearance. Now Samuel has it bounce in front of him. Rama. Nobody able to get any amount of control after that corner. Sounds like they're bringing it back to some kind of advantage as Yusri Rudolph's whistle pierces through the night here in Toronto. You say Mr. Forge Dom Samuel, I think it's a great shout. It is his 97th match in the CPL for the club. Kyle Becker, the first player in history to meet 8,600 career minutes.
That's been some of their success, right? We talk about these main teams that have been around full 5 years being solid teams. Pacific, Cavalry, Forge. They're stable off the field. A player comes in, a player goes out, but there's a few guys that have been around. Becker, Samuel, they know the culture. They know the standard to set. So when a Jensen comes in and a Raman comes in, they're just Ashley Yoda Johnson. I mean, here's a guy that's another Mr. Forge.
His 107th CPL match. Only Taryn Campbell has played more. Jabarpur. Schwanier.
Just keep moving the ball, make them run. York just stopped 7 or 8 passes and they just went, oh, I'm not running anymore. We're down by 4.
Well, Rama got caught where it really doesn't feel well about 2 minutes ago, and he is still trying to recover.
He's taking a break.
Kwesi Poku put Max Ferrari on ice. Here's Schwanier, gives it up one more time. The pass from Sissoko looking for Basius doesn't reach its target.
That's some lovely play, though.
Poku able to connect with Basius this time.
Training ground game now. Even the new boys don't want to press the ball.
Forge have had a remarkable amount of success, here at York Lions Stadium. Win number 7. Samuel bouncing, crossing, or trying to sneak that under the crossbar.
Big Man was like, I've got by him.
This is my moment.
Far from saying this is a statement game, but this is an absolutely, really big moment for a team like Forge. They can sort of lean into it. It's not a surprise victory like against Ottawa, where it was all weird goals, and this is a thumping.
Well, they've had some time to lick their wounds from the loss in the 100th minute against the Halifax Wanderers, the official end of the first half of their season. Samuel sliding his Ferrari. The referee thought he caught him properly. And the ball bounces back off of Dom Samuel, so some salt in the wounds.
He's going for it again. Could have been a foul. Ferrari's leg was high. Dom's got to run all the way back now.
Rudolph, I'm wondering if he's coming back from a caution to
bench, maybe?
Bench, yes, for sure. Mordekudis testing that foot, stepping on the ball and blowing a tire. Will have a corner here as they try to spoil Tristan Henry's clean sheet.
Getting points on the board really good for Forge in this sense. 22 points. I know there's a couple games in hand, but when there's a couple games in hand, they still have to win those. Just count the points, just keep rolling along.
Great looking in swinger. Santos can't keep it low or left. He needed either, but certainly would have liked both.
Yeah, and for York, they're going to need a big reset, get back on the training pitch, get their plan together again.
Stolen back from the 9 stripes. Winger running straight into Dom Samuel.
Goodness me, how is that not a handball as well? Send that twice today.
Can't say there's glowing marks for me today.
It's, I think, because of the score line and the fact that the ball's now been kept away from major duels, we may have all escaped some cards, some vicious tackles, etc. But if this is 1-1 and there's some inconsistency in a derby, you never know what can go on.
Wotakudis on it again, just offloads to Max Ferrari. Great play with Baya and Alou. It's returned to Clément. Skips in front of Tristan Henry, who's going to take a break. I had done some number crunching. We'll tell you about that in a moment. But first, an order of business to get to. Stand by on the award. It is going to be for the man of the match, and we all know who it's going to be. His first career hat trick, and now 1 goal back of the Golden Boot race. Taron Campbell, and none of them were, maybe one of them was an easy finish. The rest of them he had to work for. Our Gatorade performance of the match.
Oh, we got a red card.
So it looks like a case of mistaken identity.
Babuli.
Mo Babuli has been sent off.
So I think that might have been the yellow card prior.
Yeah, so it was the
second yellow. And the 4th official.
And Martin Nash is trying to make sure that Mo Babuli is only going to be out for a couple of games and not more. He's destroying something behind the bench on the way out. You can see one of the assistant coaches pop up saying it was me peeking, not Mo. He recognized what was about to happen. But Babuli is gone. Obviously it has no impact on this game, but now that's no recheat, no Babuli. And it's gone from bad to worse for York United.
If that's a straight red, even if he's on the bench.
Oh, hang on here. Osaze de Rosario just cannot buy one, these 9 stripes. So he looked for a late goal again. It was a great sequence from them. Great ball in. The initiative, the authority to go out and want that more than anyone.
Fantastic ball, Alou. Well, we know a few of these guys are going to be playing the next match because the cards, like we said, Mo has the capacity to do that, which is unfortunate. If that's a straight red, though, that's 3 games.
Maybe a fine for lashing out afterward, but that's not for today's problem. That's for the league to let us know in a couple of days to prepare for a new week. But we won't have to wait very long because the CPL is back on Tuesday. A coastal clash in Nova Scotia from 7 p.m. Atlantic and 3 p.m. an early one for Pacific supporters, the Wanderers and Pacific. after that. Pacific's next game will be right here at York Lions Stadium. 7:30 p.m. kickoff on Friday.
Two teams needing to get back on their winning ways.
Chouanier, he wants a goal, wants in on it. It was mathematically the worst first half of a season ever for Forge. They had never had fewer than 8 wins in their first 14 games. But 5-4-5, and the first time also a negative goal differential at the midway mark after what had been their best ever start. It's been a weird opening half, and they'll be hoping to see more performances like this from match 15 to what they will hope is 30.
They're traditionally slow starters as well, so that's extra slow. You can see if they can put a performance like this together, and they can do that consistently and get guys in and out. They'll be near the top again.
Becker, big push back by Alou. Kept in play. I would be shocked if we see a number bigger than 2 for added time at the end of this game, Will.
Yeah, you know, they have the flexibility because no one really knows what it is. But I would be inclined to go 0. No one's coming back.
I think you're probably right. Just as we say that, we got word that it's going to be 3. So I'm still surprised.
Exactly, and I'm a big fan of you know, the rules, making sure we follow the rules. But I do think that we have a lot of room for ex-players to begin becoming referee journeys, taking their referee journeys, because they have a feel for the game, and there's no one on this pitch who'd be unhappy to see 0 in extra time, including the referee.
You're probably right.
Professional performance, though. This is exactly what Bobby asked for, and he's going to have to ask the guys to build on this now.
Well, and this is one that I'm very curious for your take from a coach's perspective. You've heard the expression everyone has, burn the tape. Okay, hang on a second here. Baya not letting us do some storytelling here as he has the same old sequence, top of the box, no one around, but York with 4 hands, finally able to work it out. Pacius tangled up in Murtakutis. So the question is, burn the tape kind of games. I don't think you can do that in this sense, because they need to learn how to get out of that press, which caused them so much headaches.
Yeah.
How do you manage that if you're Martin Nash?
Yeah, I think you have to take, there's cliches that are actually real, right? And one of them is you learn a lot from a loss. You learn more than you do in a win. Okay, so you have to start figuring out what's going wrong, because somebody else is going to be watching this tape and they're going to go, this is how you beat York. So now you have to have a plan to get out of it. They obviously have a plan. What they didn't do is they didn't adjust quickly enough. What you can say to guys is, hey, we're allowed a bad game. We're not allowed 2 bad games. I think it's the famous Sir Alex Ferguson quote was, we never let a second goal in. We never lose 2 in a row.
Good there, Green. You're good there, Green.
That's just the mentality. You learn something for what you've done, but you don't dwell on it.
And it's a 28-game season for a reason. Forge, they're just trying to work the clock. Foul will go against Pacius, and that'll allow York to restart. And make no mistake either, this isn't crisis or panic station for York United either. Now, the next game is going to be really, really difficult with the looming suspensions that we had addressed, but they're still going to be 4th in the table.
How many times? Of course. Did he touch the ball? 10 all the way. Did he touch the ball?
Pasillas, I think the word to describe that is either pettiness or brattiness. He's pushing his luck.
I mean, that's the type of stuff that winds you up as a coach. Like, you don't need that. Why do you need that on your record? It cost us in a few games.
His third caution of the season, Rubens.
Yeah, so now he's sitting on a yellow card accumulation. It's ridiculous.
When he's struggling to get minutes with how well Campbell's playing. Yeah. There have been very few things about this game, Will, that have made sense to me. That's just another
Well, just on a Forge front, like, there's so many positives. It's like the things that are negative is Hamilton going out injured after starting to get his game on, and then that is not something you want. And guys like James and Johnson are going to be upset with him for that very reason.
All of those things are for days later to sort out, plan, and try and improve upon. Tonight, the traveling Barton Street Battalion will enjoy the fact that they dominated their closest rivals. A Terran Campbell hat-trick and Tristan Borges scoring his first goal of the season and ending a very long drought. This is going to be a tense handshake, I imagine, but the frustration, I think, not towards each other, but towards some of the things that happened on the pitch. It is a 9:05 derby that is very much orange, as Forge were really the only team looking like the victors tonight, and they were. Terran Campbell helps propel them to a win over York United. Full time from North York, it is Forge 4, York United 0. Will, I have a feeling that the three men in black shirts are going to be very popular right now.
There's a meeting.
Please take a number. We'll wait. Our VW moment of the match will be the fantastic play of Terran Campbell, but the first goal to start off the pack. The second goal. This is an unbelievable finish as Giantsopoulos comes charging out. A great pass from Borges, and then a career first for Terran. Up in the air, dominating it. Your VW Canada moment of the match are the moments of the match. A hat-trick for Terran Campbell. Nico Giantsopoulos, the scoreline's going to reflect not the best on him, but I do not fault him for the goals. In fact, he actually kept his side on a much better run. Kept it close, especially in the first half. The save from a corner. It goes bouncing around. Campbell could have scored a fourth, but it was denied by Giantsopoulos, and he'll take home our all-state save of the match. Taking a look at the full-time stats, 30 shots in this match, 19 of them came from Forge. 7 of those 19 were on target. That is 3 saves for Giantsopoulos, 2 saves for Tristan Henry, who has yet another clean sheet on the campaign and adds to his win total, which is now at 57 all-time and 37 clean sheets. The duels won favored York United, but that is one of the few stats that they are going to be able to rest their laurels on tonight. Terran Campbell, you take home the Gatorade performance of the match, and I think it was the easiest decision we've ever had to make. It's Adam Jenkins and Will Cromack in the One Soccer broadcast booth. Mate, your goal-scoring boots are back, and a first career hat-trick. You already had the all-time lead in CPL goals. Just keep adding to it. How are you liking your football right now?
I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I think we could do a better job of putting results together as a team, but yeah, I think I had a good performance today.
Hey, Terran, it's Will. How you doing, mate? Tell me, how does a game like this and a performance like this really in the dressing room, how does it help you guys move forward and take a build on this?
Yeah, I think it was a great win for us. I think it'll give us a chance to get back into the standings. I think we'll be sitting at second place now, but with that win, I think it was a good win just to get the spirits back up, the good vibes going again within the group. So all around good performance from the boys today.
Well, part of me wants to let the two Burnaby boys, you and Will, keep going here, but I will ask you, Terran, about before the goals started coming.
there's obviously going to be a time in your career where you do a lot more reflecting, but I'm curious, you obviously make the big career move here, and I don't want to suggest by any means that it wasn't great for you last year, but I know how high of standards you have for yourself, and it was a bit sluggish to start the year now. Did something switch, or were you just match in, match out, trusting that it was finally going to come, and now reaping the benefits from all the hard work you've been putting in for Forge?
Yeah, I would say so. Sort of that, just trusting myself. Obviously, coming to a new team, you're going to be go through some difficulties, and sometimes it can last longer than others. So I'm just happy to put some goals in the back of the net today, and hopefully I can contribute it and get some wins for this club.
Well, lastly, you're one back of the Golden Boot. Is that in the back of your mind at all? Saying Meyer's looking awfully close now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, who doesn't want to win it?
I love it, and I love the smile, Terrence Weller. Great performance tonight, mate. Well done, you and the team. That's a big win for you guys and kickstarts the second half of your season. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Taron Campbell, our Gatorade performance of the match, and Taron told us, now second in the Canadian Premier League table, only 3 points back of Pacific, though they have played 15 games now. York United the same, and they're not able to take that second spot. For Cavalry, they finished the week in third, Pacific at the top. The Halifax Wanderers occupy the final playoff position after match week 13, though Atletico Ottawa and Valor 1 point back of the Nova Scotians. Vancouver finishes the week in 8th on 13 points. A wild derby, a one-sided derby, but a derby that saw red cards and cautions and hard tackles and goals. A lot to like at York Lions Stadium for the side and the supporters wearing the orange shirts. That's it for another week in the Canadian Premier League. Thank you so much for joining us. Will Cromack, thank you for being in the booth for every single game this weekend. It was a fun one, and we will see you on Tuesday for more in the CPL.